Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Leanna if you're new, and today I'm going to talk about all the makeup rules that I follow every time I do my makeup. So this is just for me specifically. It's totally fine if you do anything that I don't do. After all, makeup is about fun and self-expression, so there aren't really any rules per se, but this is just how I do my makeup and I get a lot of questions on that. If anything, this video may just be an insight into how another person does their makeup, so regardless of what you get out of this video, I hope you enjoy it. So for eyebrows, I will always go in with short feathery strokes. If you go in short feathery strokes, there is less room for mess up. And I always follow the natural shape of my brow instead of trying to change the shape super dramatically. I am now using brow powder every time I do my brows just to make sure that the pomade is set, because I find that when I don't use the brow powder and it's the end of the day, my brows kind of come off a little bit, so the powder helps it stay there. And on top of that, I will use brow gel just to keep the brows in place, because my right eyebrow is like a little more droopier than the left one, so keeping them up is an important thing to do. And then I will blend that all out with a spoolie and make sure that I don't have the Sharpie drawn edges look, which is the worst thing that you could do for your eyebrows. But that's just my opinion. Now moving on to the eyes, I will always set a base, otherwise the eyeshadow would not look good, because my eyelids are very translucent, so I feel like the veins would show through, and also the eyeshadow just won't stick on your skin well if you don't have a base. You can definitely use eyelid primer, but I think that's a waste of money when you have concealer and some powder. So I tend to use a fluffy brush to blend out the concealer. I find that it's less streaky than a traditional concealer brush. I just skip foundation entirely because I find that I don't need it. I also always wear moisturizer before putting on any makeup, just to ensure that my skin is getting the hydration that it needs. I'm contouring my nose just a little bit because I find that when I blend out the concealer, my nose kind of loses its shape, so I will always add a little bit of contour just to bring back my nose bridge a little bit. Then I will use blush. I used to not wear blush, but now I wear blush every time I do my makeup, and I find that it manages to elevate the look a lot. Sometimes before I wore blush, I would have my eye makeup done and then my lips done, and my cheeks would just be bare and something would just look off, and I realized that I needed something in the middle because I don't wear contour every day, so it's kind of nice to add that dimension with the blush, and I'm using a really bright coral color. After I set my concealer with some matte powder, I'm going in with the eyeshadow, and I'm using a transition shade that is kind of close to my skin color, and really taking my time to just like blend it out towards my eyebrow, and also get my lower lash line as well, just to get that little like smoky effect. It's pretty important to bring your eyeshadow down to the lower lash line. I find that I look way better with the smoked out lower lash line, and I can't believe I just used to put eyeshadow like on my top lid and then just leave it. Then I will take a darker color and put that into my crease and just kind of pat it on with a smaller, more compact brush, and then blend that out with a denser brush. And I will always smoke out the lower lash line as well with that crease shade. Because I don't have deep set eyes, I kind of need to compensate for that a little bit and kind of make them look a little deeper set with matte shades. Shimmer shades will kind of bring your eyes out a little more, so for me, I do not want that effect. But I will use a shimmer shade just to highlight the center a little bit, and I will drag that from my inner corner to the middle of my eyelid. And then I use highlight, and I put that on the inner corners, the brow bones, and the cheekbones. And it just kind of highlights the parts where you want to be highlighted. So I'm using a bronzing powder and putting that underneath the cheekbones with yet another fluffy brush, just to make sure everything is nice and diffused right when you put it on your face. I only use liner in the outer edge of my eyelids because I have a double eyelid, so every time I open my eyelid space just kind of decreases significantly. And I feel like if my eyeliner would brought in all the way, then it would definitely decrease my lid space and make my eyes look smaller. So I just kind of keep it on the outer edge, and it works for me. I'm gonna put on just a little bit of mascara, and I always use the Maybelline Snapscara because this one doesn't have wax in it, which means it's not going to transfer onto my lower lash line. And then I put on false lashes. Then I will pinch the lash and bring it as close to the natural lashes as possible, just to get that natural effect. You definitely don't want a big fat gap between your strip lash and your real lashes. And I find that whenever I use lashes, it kind of compensates for the fact that I don't have liner all the way in the inner corner. One thing that I usually do when I put on my lashes is use my finger as a support so that it doesn't droop down. The most important thing for me is that my lashes are standing up. Now the last thing I do is put on some lipstick, but before that, I always make sure that I have a little bit of chapstick on first because, well, for one, it helps moisturize your lips, and secondly, it helps diffuse the liquid lipstick that I use a little better. I don't really like the concentrated liquid lipstick look where you kind of have lipstick all over your lips and it looks like if you like run a finger across it, it's gonna come off in a big fat chunk. So I definitely try to keep the lipstick a little more minimal and natural. And I find that the chapstick combined with just a little bit of liquid lipstick creates a my lips but better feel. Then I will just put on a little dab of gloss in the center. And there we go. Those are the rules that I've set out for myself that I follow every time I do my makeup, and it works out pretty well for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye!